I am making a train deck profile as I managed to get a hold of all of the new train cards from Blazing Dominion, and I really like trains as their own deck because I think it's really funny that you can just rank 10 spam. So starting off with the monsters, I play one copy of Gizmek Frog. I think it's actually Gizmek Tanaguku the Immobile Intellect. But it has the effect of when it's normal special summon, you can take a machine monster whose original attack equals its own defense from your deck and place it on top of the deck. But the effect you really want it for is its effect of you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a machine monster in your graveyard whose attack equals its own defense and special summon it in defense mode. As you usually summon this off of your special schedule, I think that's what it was, urgent schedule, and then you'll use it and something else, and then you'll summon a monster that has attack equal to its own defense, which in this deck is Night Train Blue Traveler, as it's able to be summoned off of that card's effect. And Night Express Knight can also be summoned off of or with its effect. But this basically just lets you set up a link play, although I realized in this deck I forgot to put links in, but that's fine because it's just supposed to be pure train. Next, I play 3 copies of Convex Knight. Convex Knight is a extender while you control. While an Earth Machine monster is on the field and this card's in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense position. Then you can make this card's level become the same as one machine monster on the field. So if you have one level 10, you need to make another rank 10. You can summon Convex Knight, make it a level 10 monster, and then you can make another rank 10. And then during your main phase, you can send one Earth Machine monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then until the end of this turn, this card gains attack equal to the level of the monster sent to the graveyard times 100. Which, ordinarily, if you're using that effect, you're going to send something with a graveyard effect, like your Gizmek. It's either going to send your Gizmek or another monster has an effect in the graveyard. Which, I don't remember how many of these actually have graveyard effects. But you're not usually going to be using that effect. The main thing you're using this for is the free body and then making it level 10. Next, I play 2 copies of Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. Railroad Stampede has the effect of this card's normal or special summoned. You can target an Earth Machine monster that is in your graveyard except for another copy of itself and special summon it in defense position. However, its effects are negated. Then you can target one other face-up monster on your field. And one other you control, you can have one's level become the level of the other. So you can make this level 10 or you can make a level 10 level 4. Next, I play probably the main starter of the deck now, which is 3 copies of Heavy Armored Knight Babbledecker. I think that's how it's pronounced. Heavy Armored Knight Babbledecker has the effect of you can normal summon it without tribute. You can only use each of the following effects at once per turn. Where if this card is normal or special summoned, then you can special summon one Earth Machine monster from your hand. During your main phase, if your opponent activated a card or effect this turn, you can special summon one rank 10 Earth Machine monster using this card as material, treating it as an Xyz summon. The other thing I like about this card is that I did consider putting Machine Duplication in the deck, because this card can be special summoned from the deck, so you can normal summon 1, Machine Duplication summon 2 more, and then your opponent has used a hand trap on you before that, you can get 2... But then you can get 2 of your... or 2 rank 10s for the price of 1. Or, well, I say for the price of 1, but you get 3, you can overlay 2 of them for 1, and then the other one becomes the second one. That's what I was getting at. I don't know why he said you can get 2 for the price of 1. Anyway, next I play 3 copies of Night Train Blue Traveler. Night Train Blue Traveler... Okay, I'm going to do a thing, try to get rid of the glare, because I just now noticed it. There, they actually got rid of the glare. Blue Traveler has the effect of you can discard it so you can add a train connection or revolving switchyard from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card's in your hand, if this card's in your graveyard, you can target one other Earth Machine monster in your graveyard, special summon both it, and then you can summon both it and this card. Also, you can summon the extra deck for its turn except machine monsters. The entire extra deck, with the exception of one monster, is machine. And then you can only use each of the following effect. You can only use the graveyard effect of Blue Train Blue Traveler once per duel, and its previous effect can only be used once per turn. Then you can discard to grab a revolving switchyard once per turn, but you can only use its graveyard effect once per duel. Next, I play 2 copies of Heavy Freight Train Dairy Crane. Freight Train Dairy Crane has the effect of if an Earth Machine type monster is normal or special summon to your field, then you can special summon this card from your hand, but its original attack and defense becomes half, which is fine because if you're summoning this card, you're going to be using it to summon a rank 10 monster. And then it also has the effect of if it's sent to the graveyard, if it's detached from an Xyz monster as material to activate its effect, then you can use Dairy Crane's effect in the graveyard to target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. Next, I play 1 copy of Super Express Bullet Train. This card has the effect of it cannot declare an attack unless you send 2 other cards you control to the graveyard. And then you can only use the following effects of it once per turn, where if all monsters you control are Earth Machines, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during the end phase, if this card's in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can target an Earth Machine in your graveyard, except another copy of itself, and add it to your hand. And then lastly, for the monsters, I play 2 copies of Night Express Knight. This card just cannot be special summoned from the deck. And you can normal summon it without tributing, but if you do, its original attack becomes 0. And it has that first effect because Machine Duplication was a card. Konami at the time didn't want you to just normal summon one of this, Machine Duplication, get 2 more from the deck, and be like, okay, now I can make a funny rank 10. For the spells, I play 1 copy of Special Schedule. This card lets you target an Earth Machine in your graveyard with 3,000 or more attack, and special summon that target in defense mode. If this card is set and sent to the graveyard, then you can target a level 10 machine monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can activate 1 special schedule per turn. This is just in here because it's searchable. It's a 1 of, so it's decent at the very least with that. Then next, I play 1 copy of Rank Up Magic Barion's Force. This card can easily be taken out of the deck. I'm just playing it because I'm lending a Varudris to one of my friends. So until I get that back from him, I'll be using that with Sky Palace Gangari Day to summon Chaos Xyz Sky Palace Babylon. And then if your opponent has an Xyz monster, you can take a material from their Xyz monster and attach it to one of yours. Next, I play 3 copies of Revolving Switchyard. Revolving Switchyard has the effect if you have a level 10 Earth Machine monster, is normal or special summoned to your field, except in a damage step. When you activate this effect, your opponent takes no battle damage for the rest of this turn. And also, you can special summon a level 4 Earth Machine monster with 1800 or more attack from your deck. And if you do its attack, its level becomes 10. And then once per turn, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to add a level 10 Earth Machine monster type monster, or an Earth Machine from your deck to your hand. So if you use this, because it's an OTK deck, you don't want to use the first effect until it's like, yeah, your opponent's going to survive the turn. So usually go to battle phase, then main phase 2, you use the other effect. Usually you're just using this for the discard card at a level 10. Okay, and my mistake. It's been a while since I last read this card. Its last effect is you can use one of those 2 effects per turn. So usually you'll use its effect to discard and then add an Earth Machine. Or level 10, I mean. Next, I play 3 copies of Urgent Schedule. Urgent Schedule can only be activated if your opponent controls a monster, or if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. It lets you special summon a level 4 lower and a level 5 or higher Earth Machine monster from your deck in defense position, but negate their effects. And you cannot declare attacks that turn except machine monsters. If this set card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a level 10 machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Urgent Schedule per turn, or once per turn. Next, or lastly for the spells, I play 3 copies of Exceptional Schedule. Exceptional Schedule has the effect letting you special summon Or you add one special schedule or urgent schedule from your deck to your hand. Then you special summon a diagram token with it's a level 10 Earth Machine Monster at 3000 attack and defense to your opponent's field. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target a level 10 Machine Monster, it's in your graveyard, or banish. Send a card you control to the graveyard, and if you use, special summon that monster. You can only use each effect of Exceptional Schedule once per turn. And then for the traps, I only play one, and then I'll get into the hand traps. Barrage Blast. Barrage Blast is a continuous trap that has the effect of once per turn you can detach any number of materials from Xyz monsters you control, target that many cards on the field, destroy them. And then if a machine Xyz monster you control is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, while his card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card and a machine Xyz from your graveyard to inflict damage to your opponent equal to the banished monster's rank times 200. Which, since almost everything in this deck is either rank 10 or 11, that will let you inflict either 2,000 or 2,200 points of burn damage. For the hand traps, I play 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird can be used at any point except during the main phase, or except during the draw phase, my mistake. That it can then be used on the resolution of any card that will let your opponent add a card from the deck to the hand. So you can discard this to then make it so that neither player can activate or add cards from the deck to the hand for the rest of the turn. Next, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This just lets you negate anything that your opponent would activate to allow them to add from deck to hand, send from deck to grave, or summon from deck. Because this is a go to second deck, I do main 3 copies of Mulcharmy Perulia and 3 copies of Mulcharmy Fualos. I am trying these, but if they end up being more bricks than anything else, then I will replace them with Ghost Bell and Ghost Ogre. But each of them can only be used while you control no cards. You only use 2 Mulcharmy effects per turn. And then during the end phase, if you have more cards in your hand than your opponent controls, plus 6. So if you end your turn, you have 15 cards in hand, but your opponent only has 2. Then you will randomly shuffle 7 cards from your hand back into the deck. But Perulia will let you draw a card every time your opponent summons normal or special summons from hand. Fualos will let you draw a card every time your opponent special summons from deck or extra deck. And then I side the last one, but Meowls will let you draw a card every time your opponent summons from graveyard or banish. The next, I play 3 copies of Dominus Purge. Dominus Purge has the effect of, if your opponent controls a card, you can activate it from your hand, but if you activate it from your hand, then you cannot use the effects of dark, water, or fire monsters for the rest of the duel, which in this case, it'll mean you can't use Perulia or Ash for the rest of the duel. But when your opponent activates a card, or activates, when activates a card or effect that includes the effect of adding from deck to hand, you can negate the effect, then if you have a trap in your graveyard, you can destroy that card. And you can only activate 1 Dominus Purge per turn. Next, and lastly, I play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence can activate from the hand while you control no cards. It will let you target an effect monster your opponent controls, negates effects, so the rest of the turn. And if it was set on the field when it was activated, then it also negates all spells and traps in its column for the turn. And that's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. For the extra deck, I play 1 copy of Gaming Gamer GG. This card has the effect of when it's summoned, you can send a machine monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. I would normally send 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Nova, because then you can activate Gamer's effect to where you can target 1 machine monster on your field or in your graveyard, and its name becomes that monster's name till the end of the turn. So to summon this, it'll send Nova, and then you have it target the Nova, so it becomes Cyber Dragon Nova. So you can then use it to summon Cyber Dragon Infinity. Cyber Dragon Infinity can be Xyz summoned by using a Cyber Dragon Nova you control. And then, once per turn, it can detach material. When your opponent activates a card or effect, to negate it, destroy it. It gains 200 per material it has, and once per turn, you can target an attack position monster on the field and attach to itself as material. Next, I play 2 copies of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. Gustav Max has the effect to detach material and inflict 2,000 points of damage once per turn. Next, I play one copy of number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora. Super Dora has the effect of once per turn. You can detach, or during either player's turn, detach material, target a face-up monster on the field. That target is unaffected by card effects except for its own until the end of the turn. Then I play one copy of Sky Palace Gangari Day. This card has the effect you can detach material, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy it, and inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. You can only use that effect once per turn, and it cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. Next, I play two copies of the new Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Flying Launcher. Flying Launcher has the effect of, during your main phase, you can normal summon one machine monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You only gain this effect once per turn. You can only use each of the following effects of Flying Launcher once per turn. Where it succeeds summoned, you can add an Earth Machine monster or a Barrage Blast from your deck to your hand. Then you can detach any number of materials from this card, then target that many spell traps on the field and destroy them. Next, I play one copy of Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. This card has the effect once per turn. You can detach a material to then destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls, and that your opponent cannot respond with spells or traps. Then I play one copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Rocket. I might bump this up to 2 once I get my Varudris back by taking out Gangari Day. But it has the effect where once per turn you can also XZ summon it by using a Gustav Max, where you transfer the materials. When your opponent activates a monster effect while this card has material, as a quick effect, you can negate that effect. If you do, destroy that card, then inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. You can only use that effect once per turn. Then during the end phase, you detach one material from this card, or else you destroy it. Next, I play one copy of Chaos XZ's Sky Palace Babylon. Babylon has the effect of when it destroys an opponent's monster at battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half that monster's original attack. And then, if this card has Gangari Day as material against the following effect, when it destroys a monster at battle, you can detach a material so it can attack again. Then I play one copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Libe. Libe has the effect of once per turn, you can XZ summon it by using a rank 10 machine XZ monster you control as material, transfer its materials. Once per turn, you can detach materials, so it gains 2,000 attack and defense. However, you're not allowed to attack with other monsters that turn. And it can attack a number of monsters that your opponent controls, equal to the number of materials it has, plus 1. And then lastly, I play one copy of Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder, and one Super Star Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis. Sky Crisis can be summoned by using the strongest monster on your field, your choice of Tide, during the turn of or after your opponent has summoned 2 or more times from the extra deck. Typhon makes it so that neither player can activate the effects of monsters with 3,000 or more attack. And then once per turn, you can detach material, target one face up. What's it face up? Detach material to return one monster from the field to the hand. It does not target to return. And then Zeus is able to be XZ summoned by using any XZ monster that, or by using an XZ monster that turn and XZ monster has battled. If I remember that correctly. Let's see, using one XZ monster controls material. If an XZ monster battled that turn. Okay. And then, not once per turn and not once per chain, Zeus can detach 2 materials to just send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. And that is it for my train deck profile. If you have ideas what I can do to improve the deck, outside of making an Earth Machine, which I wanted to try just pure train. If you have ideas to improve the deck, decks like to see me in the future, decks like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below. I always read and try the suggestions. And if you're still watching, thank you for watching.